Good morning. Yes, it is still morning. Just double checking the time. We're still morning. We're late, but it's not quite afternoon. All right, let me know when you're coming on that you can hear me, and just while... but it's not quite afternoon. Yes, that works. That's good. So, hi. It's been a couple of weeks. I hope you are all doing really well, actually. I've had a really crazy couple of weeks. You might have seen some roller derby tournament photos, and it's been a lot. And I can't remember what happened last week, that I was just not in a position to be able to go live. So apologies for that. But here we are at episode 631. Yikes. And today we're talking about, what do you do when you don't know what you want to be doing? So more and more over the past few months, the conversations that I've been having with people have been around, I don't know what I want to do. And, I've spoken with you guys about this as well, even for myself, in the sense of, I haven't always in the last 6 months known what direction I want to take. I haven't known exactly what I want to be teaching, delivering, talking about, coaching on, mentoring around. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that have been in similar positions. So particularly if you've been in the game for the last 5 to 10 years, the landscape has changed differently. And I think one of the big things that I've said has been around, I don't want to be fighting I don't want to be competing. I've never wanted to compete for attention or anything like that. But I think the thing that I've really noticed is that the volume of people in the industry is insane. And I mean, on one side, that's really good, because it means that there's more people out there helping more people, which has got to be a good thing, right? But it also means that the market is also very saturated, and it can make it really hard for consumers to know that you're the right person for them, that you're the best person to be able to help. And so I just kind of got into that thinking after being really unwell, and after all of that stuff, like, to get to the point of going, all right, I don't know what I want to do. And that can feel really scary because it's all unknown. So if you have been in that position, I let you know that, well, you're not alone. If you're in that position now, you're not alone. And if it comes up in the future, it probably will, you're not alone. It can be really hard to kind of like divorce yourself from the things that you used to be doing. And I think the thing for me is that I have been looking around at, all right, well, what do I want to learn? What do I want to do? And so I started studying. I'm doing a qualification in natural medicine, which is I was doing it. I was studying. I haven't been studying actually for a while. To be honest with you, I haven't. I've put all of that on pause for 6 months because I was just like, I can't do this at the minute. So studying natural medicine has been really interesting. But I think one of the symptoms that people like you and I can come across when we're not quite sure what we want to do is, like, we can bounce around trying to work out what it is that we want to learn. And there is a plethora of things out there that we can learn. There's a bunch of things that we can upskill and things that we can do. But I think the risk there is that if you're not completely sold on the thing that you're learning for the long game, it can be hard to remain engaged. And so, we tend to bounce around from learning to learning to learning to learning. We can kind of get excited about something, which is great. And it's such a nice feeling, right? To feel excited and motivated about the thing that you're learning. But if it's not kind of aligned necessarily, it doesn't, that excitement, joy, motivation isn't sustainable. It's not long lasting. And I think that can then lead us into kind of feeling really unmotivated, really stuck. It's hard to keep going. So if you felt like that, then the good news is that, like I said, you're not alone, and there are ways that you can move forward. So the things that I've been talking about with private clients and different people about what I think that they should do, because I'm very much well, you can take my advice or not, but you can do what you like with it. But I'm actually going to be really directive. I think the very, very first thing that you need to do if you've been feeling lost in this kind of sea of the world's our oyster, but what the fuck do I do with all of that? Then you've got to stop. First thing is you've got to stop and recalibrate. And stop actually means like completely stop, right? It's one thing to kind of stop for a minute and go, okay, what is it that I want? And then you go, okay, great, I'm back on the train. But a day of stopping, I don't think is actually enough. I don't actually even think a week of stopping is enough. I think you've actually got to create the space and time for a longer period of reflection and really going in. And I know that can sound really ungrounded, and I know that can sound sometimes really airy-fairy, but actually stopping will allow you the space to maybe hopefully become a little bit bored, and then actually create the space, not from a place of, holy shit, I've got to fill in the boredom gap, but more of I want you to get to that space where it's like, all right, well, what is it that I actually really want to do? Maybe you need to sit down and redo your values. Maybe you've had a value shift in the last 5 years or the last time since you heard about that activity. Redo your values. Like, what lights you up? If there were no obstacles, the second step is evaluate. Didn't mean to stick my fingers up at you there. The second step is evaluate. So first step is stop. Second step is evaluate. If there were no obstacles, then what would you be doing? I was actually on the receiving end of a sales call a couple of weeks ago, and it was really refreshing. I haven't been on the receiving end of a sales call in quite some time, and I already knew what I was going to do. It was basically just a sign me up, take my money call, because I'd already decided what I was going to do. But really excellent question that I was asked, which is one I've asked probably yourselves, over the years, and maybe you personally, if you're watching, is if there was a magic wand, and we know there's no magic wands, what would be the ultimate outcome for you? What is it that you would really want to be doing? What are the ultimate results that you really want? If there were no obstacles in the way, what would you be doing? And to be asked that question actually without prompting, without knowing that it was coming, was really refreshing, because it made me go, oh, hang on, let me actually think about that, because I know what I want, but to articulate it was a different thing. So I think that evaluating and really working out what you want, what you've loved as well doing in the last 5-10 years is really important. Maybe longer, maybe you've been in the game longer, I don't know. And then I think the next step is consolidate. So what can you do with the things that you have already been doing, and how can you bring those forward and into whatever the new thing is that you might like to be doing? Remember that in a perfect world, or with a magic wand, what would you be doing? How can you kind of enmesh that old stuff with what you're wanting to do and moving forward? And then the step number 4 is to start, right? So you've got to be doing something. But the big punch, the big 1-2 that I really want you to get, not that I want to punch you, I'll hit you if we're in roller derby with my hips, but I don't want to actually punch you. I want you to make sure that you have got things in your world, particularly your business world, because we're talking about business, right? I want you to make sure that you've got something that you're insanely looking forward to. What are you excited to put on? What are you excited to bring to life? And it doesn't have to be about the money. It doesn't have to be about the volume of people that you can get into something. It doesn't have to be something that's necessarily going to even generate revenue, to be honest. What is the thing that you're really looking forward to doing? So I was reflecting on what I was going to talk about today, and I was like, oh yeah, what do you do when you don't know what you're doing? Or what do you want to do when you don't know what you want to be doing is probably actually more the point. And I was like, for me, I was like, okay, so what steps do I work through? Yep. And then what am I looking forward to? And I was like, crap. I was going to schedule a visible live for later on the year. I haven't done that yet. and I was going to schedule another hot seat for later on in the year. I haven't done that yet. So it was like, oh yeah, those things are two really cool things that I'm really looking forward to business-wise, as well as this other thing that I'm going to be learning about. Really excited to get stuck into those two main things for myself, the hot seat and visible live, and then also the learning. And I'm really looking forward to those things. So what is it for you? Have you found yourself kind of sitting there just going, oh my God, like, what is it that I want to do? Who do I want to be? How am I going to navigate this next year? What's been going on? As always, let me know if you've got any questions. Let me know that this has been helpful for you. I hope it's given you a bit of a rocket up the butt and got yourself some things to do, I think. So without any further ado, get going and get into that. If you have anything that you wanted to share, reach out, let me know. You know how to do that in all of the channels that are around. But most of all, please remember, no matter what you decide to do, no matter how you decide to be, remember that the world actually really needs you and the way that you do things, and the world is ready for your brand of awesome. Have a great day. I'll see you next week.